Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Someday I Love a Podcast. My name is Ren. I am your host every time that you click on this podcast, which is basically like a stream of consciousness type of lightly edited show. Basically, it's just where I come to talk about things that are on my mind, things that I feel like are worth talking about, whether it's impressions about something or I don't know where I was going with that, but you could pretty much expect to find anything here. If you look in my past episodes, it's a lot of random stuff about just like the human experience, you know? So today I want to talk about something that has actually really been on my heart a lot, and especially now. I just recently, if you follow my YouTube channel, talked about how I'm moving and how I'm starting this crazy journey of moving to a new city every 3 to 6 months. With my partner's job. And it kind of puts me in this weird place of like, what am I going to do for work? What is my life going to look like? I'm sort of just following in chasing adventure. And it puts me in this weird place of like kind of feeling a lack of stability, but like in the most exciting way. I feel like I have been looking for something like this for a long time, and the fact that like it's happening all in, divine timing. I'm trying to trust it's all divine timing. But it makes me feel like so many people, even talking to so many people about this sort of thing, it's not something that everyone would do. And I feel like it's because it lacks this sort of stability, even for my partner's job. Me, of course, because I'm not going there having a job lined up or really knowing anything about where I'm even moving, truthfully. But also, like, it puts a lot of question marks in my partner's life, so both of us. And I feel like it's just worth talking about the fact that stability is really an illusion, not only for people like us who are like pushing the boundary and like really winging it, but for everyone. And I feel like we all went through COVID, right? And COVID taught us this more than anything, that it's, losing people, losing jobs, things can change at any moment. It doesn't necessarily have to be disaster or tragedy that make things change at any moment, but the fact that they're always like, we are constantly evolving as a society, as a world, as a climate, as people. And so things are constantly changing. And so the idea of stability, it really is just that. It's an idea, and it's not even something we can rely on. It's not something that we get to a point of and then we're there. It really is just this illusion that we talk ourselves into. And I want to kind of talk about some examples, like companies. Let's start with companies. Like, we remember back in the day, Blockbuster and Hollywood Video and businesses like this, businesses that thought people are never going to stop watching film because it's entertainment, it's art, it's all these things to so many people. Yet these sort of companies specifically were not ready or not able to adapt quickly enough to the changes that were happening in our society, in technological advances. And with that, the companies fell, they crashed. And with that, many people were left without jobs, and many people's ideas were shattered or forced into this area of the unknown, when many people probably thought like, we will always have jobs in this industry. But even that industry that we all know, we really know it's an industry that will continue on. But at the same time, things are constantly changing beyond what we can even imagine, right? Even the way that we carry small, insanely powerful computers in our pockets every day, like 10 years ago, even maybe more than 10, 15, 20 years ago, people couldn't even comprehend that would be a thing until it happened. So being able to adapt to what the world throws at you, I feel like, is the only thing that we can really rely on, is our adaptability. Because the idea of stability, it's an illusion. It's a fantasy. It's a wish. Believing that once you land this job or marry this person or hit this next milestone or this promotion, that everything is going to be set in place. And that's just simply not true. It's a facade, looking at life like that and feeling like once I hit X, Y, and Z, or once X, Y, and Z happens to me or whatever, I will be in a stable position. And it is simply not true. Think of even the way that like, marriages happen. Think about the fact that over 50% of marriages in the United States end in divorce. And the ones that don't, think of how many of those are still unsuccessful. But we paint this idea of marriage as becoming stable, as sharing finances as stable, or even back to the idea of companies. Once you land a certain title at your job, that you won't be able to lose it. But that is simply not true, because things are always shifting. Companies are shifting. Things are changing. Monetary allocations are always shifting and moving and evolving. And like, there are so many little factors of our life that we think once we do this, we will be in a stable place. But at any moment, any of that can change. Even like I said with COVID, but even beyond that. If you're not new to my realm around the internet, like I lost my mom like recently. And in my head as a kid, I'm like, yeah, that'll happen eventually, but not until I'm old. And that simply wasn't true. Like, things constantly are changing, and we need to be able to adapt, because there is no real stability. Same with consistency. Like, there's a quote, I think I first heard it in Criminal Minds, but what was it? I think it's like the only thing in life that's consistent is inconsistency or something like that. And that has always stuck with me, just like that idea that whether we want to recognize it or not, there's no such thing as stability or consistency, or like chaos theory is just chaos theory is like the reality. I feel like it's like things are always in this state of whatever. So I also, just to back my own theories up a little bit, I was doing some research, and I don't even know how credible this is because it's just this article on medium.com, but I think that the personal experiences and anecdotes should be enough to prove these theories, and prove enough that, there's no such thing as stability. The article is called The Instability of Stability, and there's this big paragraph in it that basically talks about how these big companies that were once considered too big to fail, like that have been in business for 150 to 200 years, like Lehman Brothers is the example that they used. These things are falling. These companies are falling. Same things with like Kodak, Nokia, like thousands of people being laid off, or even they talk about financial crises that were faced by, governments that were for so long considered to be like untouchable, like Greece or Cyprus. Like, there are things that are constantly, the things are happening beyond the scope of what we can see. So if we are able to look past the facade of what is shown to us, we can start to recognize that it's not all as it seems. It's not all what we think. And I think that that's arguably more important than the illusion of feeling safe, like safety or stability, like even safety. I keep saying stability, but safety is even one of these facades as well. Like, once I'm locked inside my apartment, suddenly I'm safe. But victims of violent crimes in their own homes, are examples of the fact that is not true, or not. It is an illusion. That safety of being in your own home, or being back in your own city, or this neighborhood is safe versus that one. It is all a facade. It is an illusion. And I think it's not to freak people out. And I'm not here to like say one thing or the other and tell you what you should think, but I definitely want to encourage you to be aware of the illusions that you're wrapped up in. And if you feel safer in your little world of that illusion, then that's fine. And I think that's a lot of times where people exist. But I'm here to push the boundary and push your thought process, and try and share with the world what I feel, so that we can circulate our ideas and potentially learn something new from each other. And this isn't just something that has happened throughout history. Like, much of this has happened in our lifetimes, and it will continue to do so. I know I talked a little bit about COVID-19, but how the fact that so many people who thought like their jobs would never be lost, or they would never be laid off, or they would never have the experience of a plague happening in their lifetime. Sure, none of us did. But these things are constantly, again, changing, evolving, and we think that it's one way, but the universe keeps proving to us that it really is not. You're not necessarily stable just because you have this title at your job. You're not necessarily stable just because you finally, found the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with. And you very well could be. You very well could be. But the fact that things could change at any moment is what we need to accept as our reality. So why do we chase this falsity of stability? There was an article I was kind of just sifting through from Psychology Today. We fake ourselves into believing that it's this way because it's a way for us to avoid our own anxieties around change, like fear of change, or again, safety, or even loss. It's a way to speak away our fears around these big, hard to process things. And again, like I said, at the end of the day, if that's how you feel safe, or if that's where you feel safe keeping your mindset around, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with that. But again, I think it is worth talking about or worth encouraging to push that boundary and kind of like tap into that next level of consciousness to be like, yo, there are bigger things going on here. And to think that we are just safe in this small little, our own little worlds that we create around our little selves, there's bigger things going on, and there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. And at the end of the day, these outside factors like a job or a marriage or this, that, or the other, it could be anything. It could be smaller things even than that. Locking your door, they're just a way for us to quiet down our own minds instead of going deeper into ourselves and examining why we feel this way in the first place. And I think too, I've been challenged a lot lately in my personal life, in events and that have happened to me or happened around me, the life that keeps on shifting and evolving and happening around me. Like, it's putting me outside of my own little bubble that I've created around my own little life. It's proving to me sort of like this bigger picture of what exists and what is happening around me. And I'm seeing it as a good thing, and I'm trying to take these lessons as they're being shown to me. But that doesn't mean it's not scary, and that doesn't mean I'm going forth without, fear or discomfort. All those things are very real things that I'm feeling and still experiencing. And again, that's okay. But I think I'm also working on becoming the observer of my emotions rather than becoming the emotion of fear or distress or discomfort, whatever it may be, whatever that may look like. And I feel very honored to be, I don't know if honored is the right word. I feel like I'm learning these lessons because I've been opening myself up to learning lessons. Even with just in the past couple weeks after some crazy stuff that happened in my life. I don't know if you do follow me on YouTube and saw the vlog, my car got stolen and robbed and then totaled. And it was just a lot for me to go through, and that I'm realizing now like how human those experiences were of like anger and fear and violation. And I think even in the past couple weeks, I've become more open to recognizing that I am not what happens to me, and I am more than my emotions, and sort of moving towards this more ethereal idea of what is going on and who I am. I hope this is making sense. And if not, I think basically I just want to say that being open to these lessons, whether it's through this podcast you're listening to right now, or someone you meet on the street, or whatever it looks like in your life, being open to accepting messages from the universe, accepting messages from the things around you, I think that is worth putting your time into. And all of that to say, stability is nothing but an illusion in our lives that we create. We create the feeling by surrounding ourselves with people and things and places that make us feel safe. And that is a beautiful thing that we're able to create that reality for ourselves. But at the same time, there are other factors at play all the time, always. And so if you are able to get to the point of adaptation with the things that you experience that the universe starts to throw at you, it will be easier to exist through this human experience and the human condition, really, if you're able to adapt with those ideas instead of trying too hard to create the illusion of stability around you. I feel like if you counted how many times I said stability in this episode, it was a lot. I will give you a grand prize of this awesome song I'm about to recommend. It's always so funny when I record episodes and things because I know that I'm repeating the same few words over and over and over again based on the topic that's at hand. But anyway, this is the part of the episode where I suggest a song to you based on something that I've been playing on repeat, based on the playlist that Spotify makes for me. And yeah, I think I have great taste in music and I want to share that with you. Whether you agree or not. So the song that I'm going to recommend to you right now. Oh, this is a fun new one that I've been listening to. It's called Siren by Lily Is That You. Lily Is That You is an artist that's very like sassy and like sexual and just like kind of like female empowerment sort of thing. But her song Siren, it's good. I like it. It's just a bop. She's kind of like pop music, pop alternative, and like I said, very like sassy, sexual, bad girl sort of performer. So yeah, definitely listen to that song if that is your vibe. I always have the song linked in the description of the show notes. I also there have a link where you can support me as a creator via a Buy Me a Coffee link. There's also going to always be my Instagram and my YouTube channel and all the other places to find me. See what I'm up to during the week when I'm not recording and speaking into a little microphone for you. Anyway, I believe that if you clicked on this episode that you were meant to hear it for whatever reason, whether it's just for entertainment or just think of something new and be exposed to a new idea. Either way, thank you so much for being here. I look forward to connecting with you through the ether in the future. Thank you for listening.